The Philadelphia Eagles just made a trade that shocked the entire NFL world as they are trading one of their best defensive pieces away. In Howie we trust, but boy, is it getting tough here in free agency for the Birds. The question is, where do they move going forward? We'll get into it all, but welcome into A to Z Philly. I'm RB. Do me a favor, like this video and subscribe to the channel. You know, I did not expect to start day 2 of free agency like this. I mean, I knew it was rough yesterday, but I expected those guys to go, right? Josh Sweat and Milton Williams and Darius Slay, maybe even Isaiah Rodgers, right? A lot of people were in the comments telling me, hey, chill out, relax. I said, look, I'm not worried yet. I'm not worried. We have draft picks. We have this and that. But what I did not expect was for the Eagles to go and make the move they did today. We'll start it off with the quote from Howie Roseman at the Combine. He asked the Eagles fans to be patient while putting together the roster this offseason. It may look different. Some of the moves we may have to make may not be what are necessarily on other people's minds. Well, that's the damn truth, Howie. He says, I would like to ask our fans to have patience throughout the offseason. It doesn't stop in free agency. But the Eagles are trading away CJ Gardner-Johnson to the Houston Texans in exchange for first-round guard Kenyon Green. It's a Green and 2026 fifth-round pick for CJ GJ and a 2026 sixth-round pick. An intriguing piece to the Houston back end, and Philly adds O-line depth. Man, I mean, this one hurts. Whatever people, try to say and however they try to spin this hurts, man. This is brutal. I'm going to tell you why I think it could have happened, but who knows, right? Now, John Clark adds on here, and he says, it is my understanding the Eagles are doing everything they can to make money available, keep the core of the team together, and they want to see what the third-round pick Sidney Brown can do at safety. He will compete with CJ GJ traded. They are building depth on the O-line, and Mekhi Becton is still on the table. Howie Roseman had said it will be a different offseason. They need to play younger players. Look, I'm cool with playing younger players. I like getting these younger guys, Nolan Smith and Moro Ajomo and Jalix Hunt, all these guys involved. But what you don't do is you don't come out and you trade the heart and soul of your defense, of the back end. And just for an example, I know the whole defense went to crap in 2023, but CJ GJ was here in 22. You fleeced the Saints. You saw the impact he had. It was, more than the numbers. It was just his presence. Just his presence being here completely changed the landscape of the defense. And then in 2023, he goes to the Lions because of the whole contract dispute, and his agency is putting this stuff on Twitter. And it's a weird situation, right? But they make amends. He leads the Lions to the championship game. Then he comes back in 24, and the Eagles defense gets better, and they have their leader back, and they win the Super Bowl. So to me, this is not the move that you make. I'm cool with, letting some of these rotation pieces go and working on younger guys. And in terms of John Clark saying that Mekhi Becton could be back, to me, this kind of signals that Mekhi Becton is not going to be back, right? Because they get a guard back, a former first-round pick in 2022 out of Texas A&M. And I did a quick search on Kenyon Green. I mean, I know the name. I'm not completely familiar with him. The Texans just traded Laramie Tunsil to the Commanders. But here was his grade on PFF last year. It says overall grade 38.6. That was 131st out of 135 guards. And upon, searching up a little more, they said he was one of the worst rated guards in 2022 in his rookie year. He did deal with an injury last year. And I did talk to some other people who said, hey, it's just the whole Texans line was pretty brutal, right? Think about how much CJ Stroud got hit and the step that he kind of took back. So how much can we pin that on Kenyon Green? I don't know. But it's not like he's some all-world standout player. And that makes me question even more, why would they do this, So anyway, hold on. Schefter just tweeted, let's see. Texans traded down from 13 to 15 in the draft in 22, selected Kenyon Green, and now they're trading him to Philly. Okay, interesting. So that's where we're at with this. The Eagles defense has now lost Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, Isaiah Rodgers, Darius Slay, James Bradbury, and CJ Gardner-Johnson. This one is shocking, man. I mean, look, I can accept the rest. I can eat those, but this one, I mean, even from a production standpoint, I mean, CJ Gardner-Johnson had 6 picks this last year. He was one of the highest rated safeties in the league. His impact was just so profound. Back in 22, he had 6 picks. He was leading the NFL until I believe he lacerated his kidney in like week 12 or 11 or whatever it was. But I mean, this guy's an integral part of your defense. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. And that's my only other conclusion here. The whole thing that happened last week with Darius Slay, where CJ was lashing out on Twitter and he had deleted, I think, like 6 tweets, but you know, he was talking about, hey, I'm the leader of the defense, and Slay had named Reed Blankenship as the potential leader of the back end, and CJ got mad about that. And I mean, they were at an event signing autographs next to each other, so I don't think there was any real beef, but maybe the Eagles behind the scenes looked at that and what had happened on social media and viewed CJ as like, hey, this is a guy we don't really want to keep around long term because of the way that he does wear his emotions, and maybe it could affect the locker room and some of these younger guys. But I just can't see that, because when you acquired him back after last offseason, you knew the player that he was. You knew the player that you were getting. And I mean, he's just a hell of a player, man. And he was just a really good vibes guy. So I just think the fan base is not going to go over well with this one. But the only other thing, I guess, looking at the contract here, is CJ Gardner-Johnson pretty much had an out after next season. So, you know, it was a 3-year deal that he signed for $27 million, average salary of $9 million. And let's be honest, this is all about a business, right? These guys are getting paid around the league. CJ probably looked at his situation and said, hey, I should be paid more as well. And he had a potential out after this next year. And Howie Roseman's looking at, say, next offseason, where he might have to already pay Kenyon and Cooper DeJean, and those guys are going to get a lot of money in the secondary. So maybe Howie Roseman looked at this, and maybe they've already had preliminary conversations, and Howie said, hey, I'm not giving you a pay raise. And CJ said, all right, you know, trade me. Again, all speculation. I'm just trying to come to grips here with the fact that he is gone and try to come to a conclusion as to why he is gone, because he's such a prolific player. And you look at this Eagles team, how good they were on defense, the number 1 defense by far under Vic Fangio, right? You trust his system, but you also have to give him pretty good players. And you're talking about a potential dynasty, but now your defense is getting eviscerated. And I mean, if Becton's back, sure, that'll be great, but who knows if he's going to be back now? Who knows if Dallas Goedert is going to be back? I know that Howie Roseman is not trying to make the same mistake he made after the last Super Bowl and keep around older players. But CJ GJ, I mean, he's a heck of a player, 27 years old. He's not 33. So I'm puzzled by this move. I hope that Howie has a plan up his sleeve, because if the plan this offseason is to just get completely depleted on the defensive side, it's going to suck. It's going to suck. And honestly, I do not like losing CJ Gardner-Johnson. Maybe more explanation will come out about this, but for now, Howie Roseman is on the clock. He's going to have a really good draft. And he's going to have to find a way to patch up some of these holes now. And we'll see what happens moving forward. But give me your initial reaction to this trade and this move down below. Do you think that the Eagles are doing the right thing right now? Do you think the Philadelphia Eagles are on the right track? Let's see if there's any other info that came out about this. Daniel Jones going to the Colts. Wow. Congratulations, Daniel Jones. $14 million. Hey, with the amount of money that's being thrown around right now, maybe CJ did say, man, give me a pay raise. Daniel Jones getting 14. I know it's a different position, but come on, man, give me a pay raise. Anyway, CJ Gardner-Johnson, thank you for all of your contributions to this team and everything you were able to do to help them get over the top. And it will suck not seeing him in midnight green next year. But anyway, that's where we're at. Give me your thoughts down below. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.